What is up, everybody? Welcome to the All Punked Up Podcast. I'm Tyler Winters. John Pierman is here. Today, we're going to discuss a recent huge YouTube milestone for one certain artist, a rare concert poster selling for an absurd amount of money. We're also going to talk about the recent Grammy nominations for the rock category. Also, we're going to talk about a recent incident that happened to Stand Atlantic that shows how fans can really be shitty people. And finally, we're going to talk about a new study that claims a lot of us are at risk of hearing loss when it comes to music. John, I definitely want to get your thoughts on that. But
What'd you
then, there it is. And then we're going to touch on the recent Taylor Swift ticket sale debacle because we touched on that. When was that? A couple weeks ago? So
yeah,
we're going to do a little follow-up because there's stuff to talk about.
that was in reference to Blink, I think, but
Right.
Ticketmaster strikes again.
Yes, they do. So, John, let's go ahead and dive right in. So, John, I know you'll like this bit of news, and this has nothing to do with the scene that we cover, but this is a pretty big deal when it comes to, music history. But the rarest known Buddy Holly poster from the day the music died sold for almost $450,000. Variety writes, the only known poster from the day the music died, the concert that Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper were traveling to when their plane crashed on February 3rd, 1959, has sold for a record-setting $447,000. The poster's final price shattered the house's previous record price of $275,000, so it really outshined. But that previous record was held by the Beatles' 1966 Shea Stadium concert poster. So
you wouldn't think that one was as hard to come by, but the
no,
Beatles, and maybe it was just pristine or something like that.
Probably. But dude, I don't know if you saw this article, but just seeing this poster, it really kind of makes you feel something. Like it makes me feel something because I grew up watching that movie La Bamba, which is the story of Richie Valens. So maybe I have a little more connection to this poster in some weird way because I saw that movie so much growing up. But I also grew up listening to these songs by Buddy Holly, by the Big Bopper and Valens, because that's the music my mom was always listening to, whether it was in the kitchen cooking or whether it was we were driving, someplace or whatever. And just seeing this poster feels like really heavy when I look at it. It's just a weird feeling because it's a poster for a concert that they were supposed to play. They were on their way to play it, and they never showed up. So.
Yeah, and how young both Richie and Buddy Holly are. I mean, you don't even realize. Like, Richie Valens was pretty, if not a teenager, maybe 20 or 21. I mean, he's very young.
Oh, my gosh. I didn't know. But that's... And just the potential, like you always hear, like when artists die, like Kurt Cobain or whatever, like you wonder where Nirvana would have went, or for anybody, any artist, but like for them to just kind of be robbed of that, they had so much potential, and I mean, who was it that wrote The Day the Music Died?
Don McLean.
Yeah, what Don McLean said, in his song, The Day the Music Died, at that time, those guys were the big dogs, and it probably felt like that for a lot of people.
Well, maybe not the Big Bopper, but...
No, but, Richie Valens and Buddy Holly for sure.
Rest in power, but I don't think the Big Bopper was quite as influential as the other two. But.
No.
Have you ever seen Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox movie?
I have not. Surprisingly, I have not
it.
seen that. I do need to watch that.
They make fun of pretty much all those art. I don't think they touch on Richie Valens, but make fun of Buddy Holly a little bit and Big Bopper definitely. But it's pretty funny. The movie's like 45 minutes too long, but like the first part of it's great. So if it starts to drag, just turn it off.
Oh, perfect. So the beginning's the best part, though.
Correct.
All right. So more on this poster, though. Variety also writes the poster that sold may be the only one from the show still in existence, which I think is absolutely crazy. It originally had been affixed to a telephone pole but fell to the ground. There are no pinholes, only the residue of the sticky material used to keep it in place. It was discovered by a maintenance man who placed it in a closet face down and forgot about it for 50 years.
Jeez.
So I'm surprised, even though it was face down in a closet, that it was still... I mean, from the pictures of the article, it looks like it was in pretty decent shape. 50 years, man. That's crazy. In other music news, here's an awesome achievement. John, do you remember the Goaty 2011 song, Somebody That I Used to Know?
Yeah, it was kind of a one-hit wonder, I think. Yeah.
It was. But the song has reached another milestone as the music video has surpassed 2 billion views on YouTube, which is extremely wild. So congrats to Goaty on that one. And I don't know how many videos have reached the 2 billion plateau. There can't be many.
There was that one Korean song.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That's probably up there.
That Psy song or whatever.
Yes, that one. And there might be some other ones.
There can't be very many, though.
Maybe a Drake or a
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
I feel like we're hearing more of artists, breaking that billion plateau, but I don't know about many 2 billion. So I think that's just absolutely crazy. But here's an interesting tidbit about this song's music video. Goaty decided from the beginning not to show ads on this video. And although we don't know for certain how much he would have made exactly had he run ads on this music video from the beginning, but it's safe to say he would have made a couple $1 million easily off of this one video. He does say in one interview he did in 2019, he said, "I'm not interested in selling my music. That's the reason I don't put ads on my YouTube channel," which seems strange to people in today's climate, but that is a decision you can make. I'm like that with all of my music. Ads are calling for our attention anywhere we turn in the world. If you can do something you care about and other people maybe care about and keep it out of that world that feels like it's all about, hey, buy this stuff, then that's a good thing. I mean, more power to him, but like after a first few million views, even I would have been like, if I felt the way he did prior, I'd be like, we should probably start monetizing this video.
Yeah. You can get his new album, Alone in My Principles, for free on any streaming service.
There you go. There you go. All right, John. So the Grammy nominations were announced this week, and I know you were excited.
Yes, they were. Oh, yeah. Hard nipples and everything. That was great.
Oh, my gosh. Pumped. I didn't know you were that excited, but geez. Yeah. You were excited because Turnstile was nominated, right?
Correct, yeah. 3 nominations.
Oh, they got 3 nominations.
Yes. I don't know how this works, but Best Rock, Best Metal Performance, and Best Rock Song.
Oh, okay. So do you know how the performances work? Because I don't.
Not at all. Like, what's the difference between performance and song? I don't. Maybe instrumentally, more so.
No clue.
I don't know. But that would make sense. I mean, it's there's an instrumental version of Holiday that's on a Taco Bell commercial now. So.
Yeah, very true. I don't know if we want to try to take some stabs at some of the predictions. I don't think we have to really concentrate on the performances because I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But looking at the other nominees for Best Rock Song, I know of the artist, but not so much the song. So it's hard for me to really make a prediction.
It is kind of hard because I would have to go with how much media attention they were getting throughout the year. And unfortunately, I just feel like that's usually what it comes down to. I don't know about for the Grammys, but a lot of times it's a popularity contest. Mm-hmm. When it comes to like Best Rock Song, it looks like we got Brandi Carlile with Broken Horses. Ozzy Osbourne's on there with Patient Number 9. That's his new one. Red Hot Chili Peppers with Black Summer. Turnstile with Blackout. The War on Drugs. Harmonia's Dream. I just feel
like in those cases, sometimes the Red Hot Chili Peppers just get it because they're recognizable, you know?
Yep. That's how I would feel, too. I think I would probably go with Red Hot Chili Peppers. I think it's the safest bet. But then again, like Turnstile, they're on this major come-up, man.
Yeah,
and
they're hot.
And let's be honest, a lot of the times I feel like, and I do know some people who have some ins with some award shows, some of these things are bought, man. Like it's not, it's all smoke and mirrors. So, I mean, not saying somebody's going to buy Turnstile to win, but new artists can get popularity from these award shows. So I don't know. I'm going to guess.
Not every award is given on merit. So
right. Exactly. But Red Hot Chili Peppers or Turnstile on this one, I think, for sure. But the War on Drugs seem to always be in the news, it seems like. I don't think Ozzy Osbourne's going to do it just because he's old. Yeah. And I know that sounds like ageism, but I mean, I'm just being honest here.
You just don't want to sit through a speech, do you?
I don't. I really don't. Okay, so for Best Rock Album, there's the Black Keys, Elvis Costello and the Imposters, Idols, Machine Gun Kelly, Ozzy Osbourne again, and Spoon. Spoon's on this one. This one's tough for me because obviously with the scene that we cover, Machine Gun Kelly's all over the place. If this was like an alternative award show, hands down, Machine Gun Kelly's going to win this based on who's in here. The Black Keys are a good bet. Elvis Costello's a good bet.
The Spoon record is good. I can vouch for that. That's about all I can vouch for in that. But I don't believe that they'd win.
Yeah, the only album that I've listened to is the Machine Gun Kelly Mainstream Sellout one. But I am aware of the Black Keys, and I'm aware of Elvis Costello, so I'm going to guess either of those two are going to end up winning. Right. That's my gut.
I'm leaning Black Keys just for familiarity again. So
okay,
we'll
and I think that's a safe bet.
All right.
Best alternative music album.
I have opinions on this.
Okay,
I mean, I am familiar with some of the records.
So we got Arcade Fire with We, Big Thief with Dragon New Warm Mountain, I Believe in You. Then there's Bjork with Fosora, Wet Leg with their self-titled album, and then the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, Cool It Down. I have, this is a gut, I'm going to go with it's going to either be Arcade Fire or Yeah Yeah Yeahs.
Okay.
I have no reason, but going with a gut feeling.
I have a feeling Wet Leg's going to win something, but they're also up for like the new artist categories, and their album got a lot of good press.
Yes.
So I think they might win like Best New Artist more so than winning this category. Big Thief, really good too. Really good songwriting. They're kind of weird. Not as weird as Bjork. So a little bit weirder than Arcade Fire. So I would watch out for the Big Thief record.
Okay.
I think they should have won last year or the year before for the record they put out before this, which I thought was better. But yeah, what's the difference between record of the year and song of the year?
I don't know. See, that's the thing. It's like they create certain categories so they can give more awards out to different people. It's the exact same thing as having a male category and a female category. Well, it's so
maybe song of the year is based on like lyrically more so than like music.
I don't know. So what's record of the year, do you think? We got ABBA, Adele, Beyonce, Brandi Carlile, Doja Cat, Harry Styles, Kendrick Lamar, Lizzo, Mary J. Blige, and Steve Lacy.
I got Harry Styles with that one.
Dude, hands down, it's going to be Harry Styles, as it was.
It's a good song.
Yeah. Moving on. You said you want to do Album of the Year?
Yeah, I'm going to...
Harry Styles is on that one, too. We got Coldplay, ABBA, Adele, Bad Bunny, Beyonce, Brandi Carlile, Kendrick Lamar, Lizzo, and Mary J. Blige.
I'm going to go Harry again there.
I'm going to go with Harry, too. He's all over the place. Yeah. He is all over the place. I think he's going to do that one. Okay, so Best New Artist. I like doing these. So for Best New Artist, we've got Anita, we've got Domi and JD Peck. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
They're like a brother and sister, and it's just drums and keyboards. Pretty
interesting.
Cool. Very repetitive, if you ask me, but it's kind of cool. It's cool for like 5 minutes. And then it's just you get the point. Yep.
Next we have Lotto. We got Måneskin, Molly Tuttle, Muni Long, Omar Apollo, Samara Joy, Toby Nigwe, and Wet Leg. A lot of these people I've never heard of, so they're definitely not going to win.
I like Wet Leg there.
I honestly think Best New Artist is either going to go to Anita or it's going to go to Lotto. I do think it's going to stick in the pop to rap category. Lotto, I don't know how much pop music you listen to, but she killed it. She has this one song called Big Energy, and it is catchy as hell. The first time I heard it, I was like, Emily, my wife, I was like, this song is a freaking hit. And then it went to number one. It did all the things, and I honestly don't think it still got enough play on radio because I didn't hear it enough. But I think it's going to go to her. But then Anita, man, she's super, super popular, I guess, in like the Latin world or whatever. So she's all over the place. So I think it's going to go to either one of those ladies.
All right. Well, I hope I'm right, but you might be.
I'm always up for an indie type sound to win, but I think this one's a popularity contest.
Yeah, with my pick, I'm partial to stuff that I own and enjoy and listen to a lot.
Sure.
My picks come from mostly. But the Harry Styles stuff, I know that record's really good.
And like all the ladies love him, and even some of the guys. So I mean, he's killing it right now. But one thing that was interesting about the Grammy nominations too that I want to throw out there: Beyonce tied Jay-Z for most Grammy nominations of all time with 88. Dude, that's
Jeez.
a lot of nominations. That's crazy.
Going to cause some friction.
A little bit, yeah. All right, so John, this next one is absolutely crazy, and this shows how stupid, inconsiderate, creepy, even immature, and really just how shitty, people can actually be. Like, some of these people are like the bottom of the barrel when it comes to people. And apparently, what I'm getting ready to say, apparently this stuff happens quite a bit, it sounds like. But one of my favorite bands in the scene that we cover, Stand Atlantic, sent out a tweet this week that read, PSA, please don't walk onto our or any band's bus. If it's unlocked, there's probably someone in it, and we will kick you out like we did tonight, and it will be very embarrassing for you. And don't try and cover it up with, you should lock that. Why are you on here? This is our home, and it's dirty. Fuck off. And they followed up with, what if we were naked, bro? Like, come on. Like, and that's serious. So, like, the whole thing just really just astonishes me. Like, how can people think that it's okay to do this sort of thing? It's just completely mind-blowing.
And how can they assume that I would be embarrassed?
That's true, too, because we know what you're into, so.
That's right. Voyeurism. But, I mean, it's a problem at every level of being in a band. I mean, I've heard countless stories of people getting their money stolen and gear stolen and all sorts of things just from people. People take advantage wherever they can.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, if there's one thing we have to do as, like, people and fans of music, we have to treat, the artists that we like as people. Like don't be an asshole. Like, don't hit the side of the tour bus. I know that happens a lot. Don't welcome yourself on their bus uninvited.
Don't look them in the eye.
Don't look them in the eye. But in all seriousness, like, the tour bus is a band's home for like months at a time. Like, it's the only place they can go to like get away from any stress that might be going on, or just get away from, the normal tour day to day and that sort of thing. Like, that's the only place they can go. And just like you, they don't want people coming into their home unannounced. And, I try to like understand like how people can be the way they are. So like the only thing that I can think here, as I try to, put myself in the shoes of these idiots, is I feel like there must be some kind of disconnect somewhere where the fan like forgets that the artists and musicians are like people. Like, just because whenever we see artists, most of the times it's on stage or on social media where it seems like they're having a good time and having fun, that doesn't mean that the artists want to have fun with you at any given moment. Like, you aren't that special. They only want to have fun with you when you're in the crowd and you've paid for a seat at one of their shows. Like, there are boundaries here,
Yeah, you can always knock too.
Yeah, that might be a good starting point. Not just waltz in and welcome yourself onto their bus. It just doesn't make sense. Like, come on, people, be better.
No, I mean, what if they're packing heat?
Exactly. Yeah. And I wonder if they'd be able to open fire. I mean, it's just like walking into your house. Like, if somebody walked into my house, I think I'd be able to do that.
Depends
right?
on the state,
Yeah, that's true.
If you're in Texas, don't be walking onto anybody's bus.
That's true. Or any house with wheels.
That's right. You're in my domicile.
Now, John, definitely want to get your thoughts on this, but this bit of news affects all of us, and I think everyone listening right now should really pay attention. There's a new study that shows that when it comes to listening to music, the study says it could protect more than 1 billion people at risk for hearing loss. So check this out. CNN reports, when it comes to phones, music, movies, and shows, it's common for adolescents and young adults to listen too loud and too long. And it's estimated that up to 1.35 billion individuals aged 12 to 34 years old worldwide likely engage in unsafe listening practices and are therefore at risk of developing some form of hearing loss. The article goes on to say exposure to sound at too high a volume can fatigue the sensory cells and structures in the ear. If that goes on for too long, they can become permanently damaged, resulting in hearing loss, tinnitus, or both. So, John, this is a big deal, and you and I have, never talked about this before, but when we were in a band, we oftentimes practiced and played shows without any ear protection. So there were times when we did, but I'd say most of the time we did not.
My cilia are fucked. You are
okay.
correct.
That's what I wanted to ask, because we played in a concrete walled basement. That's where we practiced.
Oh, yeah.
So not necessarily the best acoustics. Sound was probably
standing
bouncing
right
off
next to the drums
everywhere. So, yes, we were basically on top of the drums.
Oh yeah.
So have you noticed that you've had, some form of hearing loss or hearing problems?
I've always had a bit of what I call tunnel vision. Like if I'm not looking at somebody and they're talking to me, I just don't hear it, just because I kind of listen with my eyes a little bit.
Yeah.
But I've always been that way, even as a kid. But I do get tinnitus, like when I'm playing pickleball and like a paddle hits right by my ear. I'll have tinnitus for like a good 30 seconds.
So just have that little ringing in your ear for a little bit.
But other than that, I really haven't noticed anything as of yet. I fall asleep a lot with earbuds in. Like I'll be listening to something as I'm going to sleep.
Yep.
So I'm sure that's not great either. It's usually at a low volume though. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to fall asleep. But yeah, just having something in your ear that long isn't probably great either, wax-wise.
No, it isn't. I know I have some hearing damage. Like I have to, like nothing serious, but I think I used headphones the least amount out of all of us when we were practicing. But I've noticed as I've gotten older that I'm asking what a lot more. Again, I don't know if I'm like you and I kind of just need to be like if Emily asks me a question out of the blue, it'll definitely have to be followed up with what. Because like I have to be present, I guess, and maybe I am. Maybe I do look at lips too when people are talking, but yeah, I know that I've definitely got some damage from.
You're looking at the wrong lips, weren't you?
I was looking at the wrong lips. Yeah. These lips here, Tyler.
Oh, up here.
Do you wear ear protection when you go to concerts or no?
I don't, but I don't tend to be close.
Yeah, that seems to be a big push right now too, is to push ear protection on fans when they are going to concerts. So I've seen a lot of ads for.
I figure at this point the damage is done, so I'm just I'm gonna ride it out.
Yeah, I do know if we ever started playing again, I would definitely be wearing earbuds. Oh, yeah. But to go back to your point about how long you listen through your earbuds, that same article said the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention limits safe noise levels at around 85 decibels over 40 hours a week. If you are listening for only 2.5 hours over a day, that is equivalent of about 92 decibels. It also says, plugged into a smartphone, downloaded with MP3 audio files, listeners often choose volumes as high as 105 decibels, so that's like 20 decibels over what's recommended, and venues often range from 104 to 112 decibels. Mm-hmm. So everyone out there, be careful. There are actual settings on your smartphone that will keep decibels at safe levels automatically. So look into that to save your ears. But I used to use that a lot. But yeah, I mean, during the summertime when I'm mowing the grass, I can't hear over the engine. So there's times where I know it's loud in my ears. And I was aware of that this summer. So I've, just dealt with not being able to hear the music as well because I've turned it down. So.
Well, there's lots of times where you're listening to like a compilation, or I'm listening to a compilation of videos or something like that. And just because the volume is still at the same level on your device doesn't mean the volume of whatever you're listening to or watching is at that same level.
Exactly.
So, I mean, sometimes something can just pop on and be a good deal louder than whatever was playing before.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's annoying too. So like if you're listening to a podcast or whatever, and then the ads come on and they're a completely different volume level, that could be bad. But John, let's get to the Taylor Swift stuff. So this last Tuesday, November 15th, all I wanted to do was buy some damn Bert Kreischer tickets because you and I were talking about going to that show. And I couldn't do it because Taylor Swift and her Swifties crashed the Ticketmaster site apparently over 5,000 times due to high demand for her tickets for her upcoming Eras tour. It was so bad that Ticketmaster had to delay on-sale times for shows happening in certain cities in order to keep up with the demand and slow down the transactions on the site so the site could keep up. But, dude, this was a fucking train wreck. And now...
Shit show.
It was a shit show. And now, because it was so bad, American lawmakers are tweeting out that they want something to be done about all of this. NME writes The Tennessee Attorney General has launched an investigation into Ticketmaster after numerous Taylor Swift fans reported issues with buying tickets for her upcoming Eras tour. In response to the technical issues and long wait times customers were reporting, Ticketmaster said the site is not down and that people are actively purchasing tickets. However, later, Ticketmaster posted another update stating there had been historically unprecedented demand as millions of Swift fans attempted to secure tickets to the Eras tour. So, John, not surprised by all of this at all.
Nor should they have been.
No, and I'm not surprised because we alluded to it when we talked about Ticketmaster's dynamic pricing model when it came up during our Blink-182 tickets episode, whatever that was, just a few weeks ago. We said at the time that we haven't seen anything yet and to just wait until Taylor Swift's tour tickets go on sale. And here we are.
I never tire of being right.
I know. It feels good, man. It feels good.
I love it.
Oh, dude. And apparently, the dynamic pricing, tickets start at one point and then they rise. I guess it was reported that purchased tickets ended up on resale sites for this Taylor Swift tour. Mm-hmm. They were being sold for over $20,000 per ticket. I think close to $25,000. So that is absolutely nuts.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is like probably what it was like for the Beatles at their, it's that level of
dude. And I wanted to ask you, like clearly
without
this
all the screaming,
right? Clearly this won't happen for any other artist because Taylor Swift is like crazy huge. Mm-hmm. But dude, do you think it's safe to say that Taylor Swift is like the modern day Beatles? Like, do you think we're living in that moment?
Like equivalence wise, yeah.
Yeah, because like back in the day, no matter what the Beatles came up with, people ate that shit up. And that's essentially what we talked about a couple weeks ago with Taylor Swift. No matter what she releases, it's going to get attention.
She's been active longer than the Beatles were.
Yeah, that's true. Because the Beatles were only active in America for only a few years. What, 5 years or so?
Only 6 years, yeah.
Yeah, so it just seems like she is Beatles-esque. She's got the rabid fans. She's got the loyal fans. She has the stalkers, and just the way she is consumed, whether that's in the media or just music or her merch or like whatever. It's like anything that she puts out for herself, it's taken and taken
she also
in.
Started off as a country artist and then kind of evolved into something else. And Beatles kind of started as like a pop group and kind of evolved into something else. I mean, if she starts dropping acid, who knows what's going to happen?
Oh, right. Who knows? Who knows? I did end up getting those Burt Kreischer tickets, though.
I know. I'm very excited.
You know what's crazy, though? Like, the whole Taylor Swift debacle when it came to Ticketmaster and whatnot this week, like, I feel so bad for literally every other artist or comedian or anybody, entertainer that was trying to sell tickets on Tuesday because due to the demand for Taylor Swift tickets, literally no one could buy anything off of Ticketmaster. Like, I would be so upset. Like, it really just goes to show the monopoly that Ticketmaster has on the ticket industry too. Like, you literally can't go anywhere else to buy these tickets unless you want to spend an arm and a leg. So, man, just like, it just irritates me, I think. And it's just, I feel for all the fans, and it's really not a good situation.
No, very bad.
It is.
It's bad for everybody, except for Taylor Swift and Ticketmaster.
Right now, it's great for the artists, but I think overall, over time, it's not gonna last. Like, I don't know, because like the lawmakers, they came out on Twitter and they were saying that something needs to be done. The Ticketmaster needs to be reined in, and that the Live Nation and Ticketmaster merger, should never have happened because it gave Ticketmaster an overwhelmingly large amount of the market,
monopoly of sorts.
Yeah, I think they have something of like 75% of the market when it comes to ticket sales. So it's like, yeah, something needs to be done with Ticketmaster. And I'm all for capitalism. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. But when a company as big as them doesn't have any competition, or the competition they have is so small it's basically irrelevant, it just gives them too much control. And that, I think that just ends up negatively affecting us consumers. And again, I said it.
It's been a problem for 30 years. I mean, Pearl Jam
exactly
go out and do their own thing in the mid-90s as a reaction to Ticketmaster. And, I mean, not much has changed. It's only got worse.
Yeah,
way to go, Eddie Vedder. You didn't do shit.
Except call it. So he's just like us. But I'm telling you, and I'm going to just say it again because I don't know how often we're going to bring up Ticketmaster, but I'm going to say it again. I really do think Ticketmaster is going to end up destroying the touring industry if they keep the same shit up and nothing is really done to rein them in. Like, it's just not sustainable for them to count on us consumers to keep playing their game and paying the high prices, and it just can't work. And it's the artists that are going to be hurt the most. I'm telling you, like, there's going to be a trickle down effect to where I don't think it's going to hurt the big time artists like the Blink-182s, the Taylor Swifts, the Adeles, the Beyoncés. It's going to hurt the smaller artists big time
or comedians in this case.
Comedians. I just feel like as much as we all like to consume entertainment and go see entertainment live, the more we spend on shows, the less amount we're going to have to see more shows. And I just think we're going to see that play out within the next couple of years, I think.
Sure. It leaves less money for merch too, and
exactly. It's going to be terrible. And the thing is too, it's like touring is so hard on artists right now when it comes to the cost. And if they don't have merch sales, if they don't have enough people buying tickets to see the shows, there's going to be a lot more tours canceled, a lot more shows canceled, and these artists are going to end up having to find other jobs. I mean, I'm telling you, it's going to be bad. Something needs to be done about Ticketmaster. But that's all I'm going to say about that.
Well, the onus has to fall on the venues too, because I mean, the venues are the ones that make those decisions sometimes that they're only going to work with Ticketmaster.
Yep. I think sometimes they feel forced to work with Ticketmaster because how are they going to sell tickets? Yeah. So they have no options. So Ticketmaster's the bad guy here, it sounds like.
Yeah, they're Satan.
All right, guys. That'll do it for this episode. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you're really digging our show, please consider helping us spread the word and leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts and or on Spotify. A 5-star review would be greatly appreciated. And please let us know what you're liking most about the show and also what you'd like to hear more of. So with that, thanks again. And remember, spread love.